Hey, hi all. So today we'll be seeing a new program. It's about matrix addition and subtraction. So in our one of our previous videos, we have seen about matrix creation. So here is the program, and in YouTube also you have the program solved, how we have done it. So we'll be taking reference few things from here, and then we will be moving to this matrix addition part. So here I have already taken the reference from that program. So here what I have used, like this part is just taking the input from user about the matrix row number and column numbers. So let's say I want a matrix of rows of 3 and columns of 4, maybe, or maybe rows of 3 and columns of 3. Okay, so that thing it is taking from user. After that, it is I'm creating two matrices here, and both is having same row and same columns. Okay, so yeah, so these two matrices here I am creating, but it is just I'm defining. I mean, I'm just as I haven't assigned values to these arrays, two dimensional arrays, so I have to do it here. So here what I have done, I have created a object from random class, and then through this object of random class I am just taking some random values and putting it into this matrix 1. And the similar way I have done the same thing for matrix 2. So our matrix is ready for after this for loop, and our matrix 1 is ready after this for loop, and matrix 2 is ready after this for loop, second for loop. Okay, now to see the outputs we can again take the reference from here. So here I can just copy paste it, or probably what we can do, we can create some reusable code or reusable methods through which we can just um, take reuse those methods, right? So that probably we can see it. Let's see, if I get time I will show you that as well. So first I'm taking it here, just copy pasting it, and here I will write it matrix 1, and here is our matrix 1, and similar way I will just put it here. Here is our matrix 2, and this is matrix 2. Right, now let's print it. So it should print me both matrix. So run as Java application. So it's asking me to enter the so I'm entering 4 rows, and the column should be also, I mean, column is also 4. Okay, so we got our matrix. This is a random values we are getting, right, which we want. Now what we'll be doing, will be adding this matrix and this matrix. So how matrix addition works? Matrix addition works simple this way, like this plus this. So this for this matrix, this is, let's say, row number 1 and column number, no, row number 0 and column number 0, right? So 91. So it will also again get added with the matrix 2 of same row number and column number. So if 63 is at column number 0 and row number 0, so these two get added, and final value would be the let's say there is a third matrix, matrix 3, which should have the values after adding these two matrices. So it should have the value of 91 plus 63. You can calculate it. So that value would be there in the zeroth row and zeroth column, right? And in this way, like, let's say this 14 and this 63, this should get added, and it should be our like fourth row and fourth column. Okay, so that cell should have this value. So that, like, this logic we have to implement. This is very easy, I believe, because we just have to put the addition, right? And let's see how we can do it. So where we write our logic, we'll be writing our logic after this, right? So I'll be making the one comment like addition of the two matrix. So um okay, so let's say there should be a third matrix, right? So we have to create another matrix here. It is like matrix 3, and now we again have to do a for loop for integer I equals to 0, I less than row number, and I less plus plus. Okay, for int j equals to 0, j less than column number, and j plus plus. Okay, so after that, so we get 0th row and 0th column. And now what we'll be doing, this is our matrix 3, right? So matrix 3 I and j equals to matrix 1 I j plus matrix 2 I j, right? So I hope the logic is clear. So we are just adding. So here let's say I equals to 0, j equals to 0. That time this is the first cell, right? I0 J0, and here similar way matrix 1 I0 J0 and I0 J0. So 0 0, this is the value of that particular number of this that value, right? So let's run it one more time and we'll explain you there from there. Okay, so let's say I'm adding 3 and 3. So this is the matrix, so matrix 97. So when I, let's say I equals to 5 and j equals to also 5, right? Oh, no, not 5, maybe I equals to, let's say 2 and j equals to 2. So that time what would be the value? So I of 2 0 1 2, and so this is 2, right? So I of 2, sorry, I of matrix 1 I2 J2. In that case the value would be this one, right? And similar way this would be 72 from here. So 78 plus 72, what would be the total? So that total would be there in the matrix 3. Let's say ith value is 0 and jth value is 2, right? So in that case, let's say I value is 0, so and j value is 2. Sorry, I value is 1 and j's value is 2. Okay, and in that case, I of 1 means second row, and second row and third column, so 86, right? So here 86, here 58, so these two get added and the value would be inserted in this matrix 3. So like this the addition would be happening. And similar way we can do the subtraction operation as well, so that would be also will be showing. Just we have to change it to plus, from plus to minus, right? So our matrix 3 is created already, so we will just print the values of matrix 3 now and we'll verify whether our addition works or not. So here it is matrix 3, and here I equals to 0, j equals to 0. Okay, so here it would be matrix 3. Yeah, so let's print it. So I will be giving 4 and I will be giving 5. So it is 4 rows and 5 column, right? So let's see whether I'm getting the added value in this third matrix. So matrix 1, matrix 2, matrix 3. So 81 plus 60, it is 1 and 40, perfect. Let's say this 120 value, how it is getting calculated. So it is calculated from 56 plus 64. Yes, so this is 120, perfect. And let's say this 11, how it is getting calculated. So 0 and 1, it is 11, perfect. Now let's say someone wants to get the subtraction. I'm not creating a new uh, here subtraction, or we can create one more. Let's say, or maybe we can do here only as of now. Okay, so this is actually subtraction, and we get the after subtraction what will be the value. So let's run it 3 and 4. So you can see 13 minus 79, it is minus 66 perfect. And let's say the value of 58 minus 38 equals to 20. That is also correct, right? By this way we can also get our um, matrix, subtracted matrix, right? So we saw both subtraction and addition. Now I have mentioned about like we will be creating one reusable method through which we can do it very easily without creating much more of code like this. So we can do that as well here. So we are using much more code here, right? So let's see uh, what we can do. Okay, so this for loop and then this for loop. um, okay, and there it is, this one. Here is a matrix one. So what you can do, print matrix, we can create a method print matrix, and we can pass the matrix. Okay, and here it should create a new method. So it should create a method here. Now what we'll be doing, we'll be just put it, taking it from here and putting it here. Okay, now we got our matrix 1, and here it's saying I less than row number and I less than column number, right? Okay, so mhm. So what we can do, we can make it as global variable, or one other thing we can do, we can take this matrix 1. So matrix 1 is the way we can get it dot length. Length will be giving in a third dimensional array, right? So we can give it, but it is not working. So we need the column and row number, right? So we can easily get it by declaring it as a global variable, right? So let's declare it as a global variable. Row number equals to 0 and integer column number, and it will take a bit time, so we'll do that. So we will be reducing a lot of lines. Okay, change row number to static. Yep, here also it should make it static. Okay, so we got our row number, column number, and here, so there is no error now, right? Okay, so system.out.println matrix of ing, right? So we got it. So now we can delete it very easily. And this part do not need it now. This for loop, delete it, and the similar we can just copy it and reuse here as well. So we just delete it and print matrix, and instead of matrix 1 we will give it as matrix 2, and here as well we'll delete this part and print matrix and matrix 3. Okay, now what is remaining? So our addition logic is remaining. So addition logic is, let's keep it like this only. Okay, and apart from that, this two part, right? So okay, so what we can do, uh, So create matrix, we can create a method create matrix. Okay, and we can pass this matrix 1, and I can create this matrix, and then we can create this random variable here as a global variable, so it should be also static. Okay, and here I'm initializing it rand is to random. Okay, so I just declared it here, and then I'm creating an instance from this random class here, and I already created this create matrix method. I will just put it, so I'm just cutting it from here and we'll put it here, create matrix. Okay, so our matrix is ready, so matrix 1 is getting coming here, and okay, that's done. And also I will copy it and I'll just put it here, which would be our matrix 2. As simple as that. So let's see, we have just created two reusable methods. Whenever we need to create a matrix, we can reuse this method, and we are good to go. And similar way, we can print the matrix using this method, right? So these two are reusable methods, and I'm just running it one more time. So I'm doing 4 and then 4, then we can see we got our matrix, right? So 7 49 minus 42, right? So it is getting subtracted. Now one more thing we can do, like for subtraction and addition, so we can create a method called subtract matrix and do subtraction and addition, right? So what we can do, like uh, add two matrix. So here should take two parameter, matrix 1 comma matrix 2, and then there is another method it should be having, so which is like here subtract two matrix. Okay, matrix 1 matrix 2. So we'll create again two methods, and then we'll be putting this and also it should not return void, instead it should return uh, the resultant matrix, which is like integer of array, and it should return matrix 3, right? And here I will declare it, instead of declaring here no need to get two object. So yeah, that's also fine, let's create it here. So let's create it here. So matrix 3, and we'll be returning matrix 3 here from here, giving, yeah, and I'll copy paste it from here, this part, and I'll put it here, and instead of minus I will change it to the plus, because this is addition, add up to matrix, and it is subtract to matrix. Okay, and similar way, and we have to change it to the integer array instead of void, because we're returning this array. Okay, we are done, and we can remove this part. So we are adding this to matrix, and after addition we are storing it somewhere, right? So what we can do, mm, okay, so after addition I should put it another matrix, so integer array matrix, final matrix, added matrix. Okay, and after that I should print the added matrix here. And similarly we will do subtract matrix, right? So no, this is added matrix, and then in the same way we will be doing added matrix. So this is subtract to matrix, right? So integer, I'm taking it from here and putting it here. So I hope you are getting it what I'm doing. uh, Subtracted matrix or subtracted matrix. Okay, so here is our uh, added matrix, and print added matrix, and also we are getting subtracted matrix. mm. Yeah. Okay, so we are done finally. So here what I'm doing, like we am creating the addition of two matrix and subtraction. I'm also doing the subtraction as well. So um, just a second, it is almost done. Yeah, so addition of two matrix, and then I'm doing subtraction of two matrix. Sorry, I did a spelling mistake. It is subtraction. Yeah, subtraction of two matrix, right? So yeah, so just ignore this spelling, and let me run it first. Let's see whether our changes are working or not. So there is some error available, so let's see what is these errors. Okay, we missed a semicolon, and then here also we missed the semicolon, and let's save it and now run it as Java application. So I'm taking 3 and 3. So here is the matrix 1, matrix 2. We got that in matrix 14 plus 49 equals to 63. So this is getting added, and 14 minus 49 is minus 35, which is also correct. So we got both our added matrix and subtracted matrix, not yeah, subtracted matrix. So yeah, so so we have reduced a lot of code because of this reusable method. So I hope you got it. Yeah. Thank you for watching.